So, Masters of the Universe, 2026.
Yeah, it's only taken nearly 40 years for a reboot.
By the power of Grayskull! I have
Did you survive?
I had a fun time with this one.
Really?
You're the fan. I'm not really. I remember He-Man from when I was younger. I didn't have all these toys, which I can now name.
You can name all of those, right?
Although I kept calling him Lockjaw, Trapjaw.
Trapjaw, yeah.
Take the sword. And when you fall, that's your chance to stand tall.
I was quietly excited,
Yeah.
and thankfully it delivered. It was a great homage to the original series and the 1987 film, of course.
Yeah.
And of course, Dolph Lundgren had a cameo.
It was a nice cameo though for him.
Gets to say his famous farewell.
Is it that famous to non-fans?
Good journey!
I don't think it's quite in the public lexicon yet, but maybe this film will help.
Yeah.
This is a second live film adaptation of the cartoon show. I thought it straddled pretty well between a faithful adaptation to the cartoon show, whilst also kind of having a bit of fun with the silliness of it.
It respected the source material, which was a big thing.
Your loincloth is in my... Sorry.
Fine.
A lot of jokes, maybe one too many Fisto jokes.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, one would have been enough.
Anytime I can give you a hand, just let me know.
I'd say about 50% of the jokes landed for me.
Yeah, the Skeletor stuff was kind of in keeping with his character, mostly.
Right, okay, yeah, fair enough.
That's it. I finished.
Of course, my lord.
When I raise my fist like that, I'm done!
Yes.
That is the crescendo!
You'll know for the future, my lord.
And I thought that was an incredible performance, portrayal of Skeletor.
Yeah.
Hard character to pull off, but the performance by Jared Leto, obviously the effects
Yeah.
worked really well.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I thought, when he first sort of came on, the voice was is that quite right? And then as he got a bit sillier or a bit kind of goofier and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, there's little tones of Skeletor from the TV show in there, just enough.
We've done it! We've beaten He-Man!
I've done it, you mean?
It's got a good kind of character building with Prince Adam / He-Man, which it didn't have in the 1987 film. He was just, I'm He-Man, and nothing more there. But it's got that sort of thing where he's the chosen one because the sorceress sees that he's sort of not only strong of sort of body, but also of sort of heart.
You may have the power, but you're too scared to use it.
Yeah, and I thought the casting was spot on for He-Man and all the characters.
Yeah.
It was great to see Idris Elba's Man-at-Arms.
Yeah, he gets a good chunk of screen time to do some stuff.
He's got one of the stronger character arcs, a bit more time devoted to him.
There's too many of them. The big army only means one thing. More targets.
Yeah, so there's a whole sort of Eternia being kind of demolished and taken over by Skeletor, and then there's a sort of 15-year time skip when Prince Adam's on Earth. And in that time, I guess, Man-at-Arms has sort of descended into alcoholism and sort of rejected his former sort of calling.
Yeah.
But he obviously has to kind of dust himself off and, find the courage within.
It's all my fault. I know how it feels to fail.
And the music score was just top notch.
Yeah, so the music score, Brian May with the guitar licks, sort of that kind of overdriven, doubled up kind of guitar stuff, that very reminiscent of obviously Flash Gordon and stuff, working with the film composer Daniel
Pemberton.
Yeah.
Yeah, who did Project Hail Mary, which was awesome as well.
We need to get into orbit or we'll crash!
I have an idea. First, no crash, then not explode. Deal?
Deal!
Reconstruction of the original score at the end.
The cartoon score, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
There's some silly names in this world,
Oh yeah.
and they kind of write it up as these are the names that a young Prince Adam gave to these characters.
Yeah.
So he's not actually called Ram Man.
No, no, that's a silly name.
Yeah, of course. I'm assuming that his parents didn't name him Ram Man when he was born.
And Fisto, of course.
Of course, yes.
And you, Fisto!
They're quite amused that they've been given these names when Adam comes back.
I think I saw some people getting a bit annoyed about that. People with no friends, you know, those kind of people. So yeah, I think, you know, as the kids might say, those people need to go and touch grass.
No, that worked for me. I thought that was really funny. And of course he gave himself a name.
Yeah, he gives himself He-Man, which we only find that out at the end.
That
that
was nice.
Yeah, and his sort of dual identity in the cartoon show. Only 3 people know that he's Prince Adam is He-Man, even though he looks exactly the same.
You wait, Adam. Someday I'll make a hero out of you. Just like He-Man.
Maybe someday, Teela. Maybe. Someday.
Yeah, it's like Clark Kent and Superman.
But there's at least an attempt. Clark Kent kind of brushes his hair differently, puts sunglasses, and, you know, acts a bit more, you know, sheepishly, I guess you would say.
The Daily Planet has a tradition.
I'm sorry.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shake it up like that.
There's not a huge difference between Prince Adam and He-Man in the film.
Not in appearance, yeah.
No. But he grows as a character through the film and stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
And that was a nice kind of aspect, because there's a little father and son thing as well. It needed a little bit of work for me, maybe, because there's not a huge amount of time between the two of them across the film.
I mean, as a fan, that's shocking seeing King Randor die.
He-Man's dad.
I would have expected King Randor to stick around a bit longer than that. I mean, it worked story-wise, and yeah, I mean, they got rid of a few characters. Mothman turned into mulch.
You think me unique, but I simply died and became a forest. Not so very different from other creatures.
So Mossman, a little cameo. I guess if you're a Mossman fan, this is not the film for you.
Poor guy, didn't last long.
Yeah, he still looks good.
Does he still smell of pine?
No.
He's about 45 years old.
Yeah, I guess there's plenty of characters in it, but they hold some off as well. I guess they're kind of hoping for sequel.
Yeah, I mean, there's a massive roster of characters. I mean, I love the fact they obviously picked some key characters that are quite well known, like Fisto, Man-at-Arms, Trapjaw, Triclops, and then some obscure characters like Karg, who was created for the 1987 film. He's kind of got the silver hair.
Oh, right, okay, right, yeah.
He looked a bit different, but...
Okay, I never connected those two. But, yeah.
And Pig Boy, that was in the 1987 film. They held a contest back in the 1980s, and a kid won it. They put him in the film. Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't know nothing
But he's
about
only
that.
in like 2 shots in the 87 film. It's like blink and you'll miss him. And they took this character and they put him in this film. You remember him? He was uncovering Skeletor at the start.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that was Pig Boy.
Okay, Pig Man or Pig Boy?
Pig Boy.
That's an interesting one.
And do you remember the Goat Man?
What? Who?
He's like guarding Snake Mountain, a red guy with horns.
Oh, like a devil kind of guy.
Yeah. His only appearance before this was in this Ladybird book. He might have been in one of the later animations, but you might recognise him.
Okay.
There's another character, Deanne, is like one of the royal guards. She only appeared in a newspaper strip.
Oh, jeez. These are some deep cuts.
And obviously they had a lot more popular figures they could have chosen, but
Yeah, they held out. I mean, Orko is in it at the end, which I enjoyed because it had that. I don't know if that was was there always that sort of like moral wrap up at the end of an episode?
yeah, you'd have various characters give it, usually maybe He-Man or Man-at-Arms or Orko.
Yeah.
I think he would have been overbearing to have had him in the film throughout.
Oh, it's my old wand. I forgot how to stop it. Orko's magic does it again. Help!
My sword, it's gone.
I mean, I'm reading that it's not going to do particularly well, but it was a packed cinema I saw it in, and everyone seemed to enjoy it. So I think it's going to get good reviews. I think it's generally as good a Masters of the Universe adaptation as you could hope to get. You know.
I mean, I can't imagine it being done better than this. I mean, the director, Travis Knight, he did a Transformers movie. For me, these movies are terrible, but he did one called Bumblebee, which is actually really good.
We're all clear. All right. Rethink of the beach. Oh, I'm good. No, I'm good, thanks.
You know, it makes sense. Transformers, if you get that right, you can graduate to He-Man.
I never stopped trying to get back home.
Everything changed since you left.
It's all gone.
I thought he was spot on for Prince Adam and He-Man.
It's more of a growth of the two characters as one. I think you felt there was more of a split.
In the original animation, Prince Adam's quite immature. Then you got He-Man, who's a lot more mature.
Yeah.
For a long time, I've had the power of He-Man, but to keep that power a secret, I've had to pretend, you know, to be careless and irresponsible. More than anything, I want to give up that disguise and make my father proud of me.
They don't say He-Man until the end of the film, but when he effectively gets the power and he's in his loincloth and all that, he jumps on a hover bike thing and immediately kind of crashes it.
What the?
He doesn't have that sort of like, as soon as I become He-Man, I'm all conquering and I'm all kind of, you know, powerful and everything. He's still kind of like learning the ropes, you know.
Yeah.
As I sort of said, I think, you know, some of the humour was fine, you know, some not so much. I did like the ending. Someone cracks a joke and they're all kind of doing the end laugh. And I like kind of Cringer. I don't know if he does or doesn't. Maybe, I don't think he does, but he almost does a sort of look to the audience, you know, like what, you know.
Wish I could talk the Queen into getting Adam a new pet.
It was good to see them in their animation style costumes at the end.
Right, they become more like the cartoon at the end, do they?
Teela's got her kind of iconic outfit, and Prince Adam's got his pink kind of cardigan.
Maybe half an hour of the film or something is on Earth. He's an office drone and he's wearing this sort of pink, or is it lilac? I don't know. It's obviously just kind of building up to that kind of thing. I like that. I mean, I thought like the Earth stuff needed to kind of bleed over a little bit more to some degree, because like once he kind of like gets on Teela's ship, he's like, bye dicks, you know, and he's like got no kind of like concerns or anything.
He always had a life on Earth.
Yes, he's been there for 15 years, and I just kind of felt, I'm glad that it didn't, but there's like the annoying flatmate. I thought he was going to come on the adventure, you know.
That would have been more annoying though.
Yeah, it would have been. Yes, he's annoying anyway. They do kind of go back to the Earth stuff in a way. At the end fight, when He-Man's dying and like Skeletor's in his mind or something.
Yeah, infusing his mind.
We see Skeletor at the gym.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then he's in the HR department. Yeah. He's got a suit on and he's still got the hood.
You can see the action figures coming out for that now.
I would buy HR Skeletor, like, definitely. That was all quality stuff, and totally in keeping with the goofiness of Skeletor.
Yeah, I wasn't quite prepared just how great it was going to be. I mean, a lot of people said it was too long.
I felt it was a little long.
Whereas I felt like I wanted to go on another hour or so.
Yeah.
There was a lot of characters in it. I think it was the right amount, but it did feel like some characters needed a bit more breathing room.
Yeah, like your Ram-Mans and your Fistos.
Yeah, just a little bit more. Even Evelyn, because they're all so good.
Yeah, Evelyn was very good in it, yeah.
And I like the way she reacts to Skeletor. It's like she would love to like stab him in the back.
Yes, aye. In the same way that she knows that Skeletor would throw her under the bus, you know, sort of thing. So they've got that thing kind of going on between them.
And then the power of Grayskull will be ours! And the best part is, we won't have to share it with... Ah, Skeletor! How good to see you!
But it's just hinted at and stuff. But yeah, she's very good in the role and in delivering the lines and stuff.
Well said, Lord Skeletor. Poetry.
Yeah, all the characters looked, you know, when Lockjaw came out, he was like, Trapjaw came out. When Trapjaw came out, and I hadn't seen his character for so long, and I was like, oh wow, I remember him, you know.
Yeah.
That was nice, you know. I'm not gonna lie about that, you know. The action was kind of well grounded. Like there was a fight with Man-at-Arms and Trapjaw, and they're just like in a hallway in a castle. They have a fight and stuff. It doesn't go over the top. It's not overly long, and it would have been very easy to do that, you know.
Yeah. There's some good fight choreography going on.
Yeah, just nice and simple, and not too like. I was thinking like, a film recently that we saw, Predator Badlands. It's just an absolute nightmare. It just goes way over the score. Whereas this, you know, it felt like real people, real characters within this world, you know, duking it out. And that's what you need, you know, that's all you need. I mean, in a second viewing, I might go a little half higher, but I think I'm going to give it 3.5 on a first viewing. I don't think I could go much higher than that. I suspect that you will. So
that's good for a non-fan.
I just kind of thought this was a fun film that even if you're not a big fan of it, you can buy into it a bit and just kind of like go, yeah, it's having the right amount of fun with itself whilst taking it seriously. Perfect for me, you know.
Yeah.
A little bit long maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's really bright and colourful and vibrant. A lot of fun.
It's an example of like used in the right way, this kind of CGI and all this kind of stuff, practical effects and everything can be melded together to work really well. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it's hard to imagine a better film being made.
Yes. I mean, I'm giving it a slightly okay-ish 3.5, but I can't imagine there being a better He-Man film being made. It's just I'm not a big He-Man fan, so you know. So I imagine you're going to go.
I'll go 4.5. I mean, it's definitely a fanboy score.
Yes, I'll give you that. I'll give you that extra half. I'll let you have that extra half. If you'd said 5, I'd have been like.
You would have been out of here.
Yeah. Okay, well that's our thoughts on Masters of the Universe, the new one. Let us know what you thought, and we'll see you in the next show.
Good journey.